great having you both here. Could you tell us what your favorite part of making the film was and how you think that translated over to finally being on the big screen and what you thought of it?
I mean, for me as a director, the most fun part of making a film is just creating a summer camp. Like literally just a 4-week summer camp with a bunch of your friends, and you're in this bubble and you get to just make stuff. There are consequences. There are big consequences. There's a lot of money spent, but it's really fun having to deal with these big problems and have actually some money to be able to put behind them and ultimately just creatively problem solve with your friends. Yeah,
that's great. A bit about the film. A lot of these like nuances kind of add up to the film. I know there was a really great scene with the dumplings that the parents made. How did you kind of come up and put all of these together to like make it so realistic and add to the depth of C's character?
There was a lot of anger in me when I did that, because it was kind of, if I looked at it from his perspective, right, it felt like the parents were trying to do something that they didn't fully understand, and the fact that I didn't even understand myself was a huge part of it. So a lot of it was anger inside rather than anger towards them. It was sort of uncomfortable within that, revealing of my self-identity or C's self-identity, and the fact that he didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, I think the like unspoken anger in his character really is an important part of it, I think. How did you kind of navigate acting that? Where did you draw the anger to play that character?
First of all, there was a lot of pressure, I feel like, with the role, so that definitely helped. But drawing from the anger, I mean, I used it from a lot of like, personal experiences, past experiences. So, I took a lot of that out from myself, things that I was worried about or stressed about. But yeah, that was mostly about it.
I remember telling you that it kind of feels like a pot of bubbling soup or liquid or water, and as there was more heat under the stove on the pot, then it bubbles over, and there's a point where it does bubble over. There's a tipping point, and so like let's build up to that tipping point, and then when it does bubble over, then like that's when everything can come out.
Yeah. You talked about like it being sort of like a summer camp environment. Do you think that contributed to like the film feeling so authentic and like that environment on set, and how did that translate over to sort of the final product?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you have a better sense of this than I do because you were kind of with the cast and crew, but we had a lot of kids on set. I mean, to be honest, like half the crew or more were under 25. That was a lot of young people. Yeah, it was very for youth. Yeah, it was very TIFF Next Wave coded, and because of that, it was just like sometimes I had to be the parent and to kind of dial things back sometimes. But I think they were able to definitely keep the energy up and have a good time while we're making something great.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, like with a lot of independent films, the crew and the cast it kind of feels like your family. Bigger projects, it kind of feels different because there's different people on set every day. But especially with Thomas's film, I felt it was a tight knit group, and we saw each other every day and we were working towards something that we want to make.
Also, just expanding on like C's character more, like when Ben Wang's character came in, a lot of it was like competing to be like a token Asian, right? I feel like that is seen a lot in like the actual world. Is it, if you're comfortable with it, like does that come from personal experience, and like how does that kind of play with the like whole white neighborhood environment and like his confidence, the character hierarchy, and like his relationships in that world of Wild Child?
Yeah, so Isle Child was based off of my experience, but also one of my best friends named C, and that was the character that Ethan was portraying. But we weren't always best friends. In fact, we were it was the same relationship that Ethan had, or it's not Ethan, C, the character had with Ben Wong's character, where we both felt like we had to compete to be the token Asian, to, be the cooler one, to be and we would not associate with each other. We would have different friend groups. And so there was definitely this tension between us throughout middle school and high school. And only when I began to make the proof of concept short film at like 16, 17, did I actually reach out to him. And then that's when I heard his story and realized there was so much in common between us. And that's why I wanted to tell his story and our story about, what that means growing up in that kind of a setting.
That's really sweet.
I mean, building off of that, having like the story based off someone in real life, like what do you think were the challenges that were associated with bringing that to life on screen?
I mean, yeah, like I met C, and he was so down to earth. He was so cool. He felt so, he knew who he was. And it's also the fact that his story is something that I could relate to with trying to fit in, and being in sort of a community that doesn't really accept you fully.
Yeah, so you took a bit of your own experience then.
Yeah.
Portrayed C too. Yeah.
Do you have a workflow for, do you like a certain process to absorb and osmose his experience? Like, are you asking certain types of questions, or are you just trying to get that energy and absorb that energy when you're just standing next to him? Or
Yeah, it's sort of his, like the way he acts. Perfectly is his energy. When I met him, it's someone who's been through so much. So there's a big part of that. But yeah, also, just trying to relate to him. A big thing with me was when I was younger, I played hockey, rep hockey. And for him, he was like an amazing pitcher. He was really good at baseball. So there's a big relation to that. And like him with hockey, I was always the only Asian kid on every team. And it was just so hard to try to fit in. And, maybe at the time I didn't realize that I was trying to fit in, or like that I was experiencing all these things because of my race and I didn't know. But now that I'm older, I've kind of realized that. And yeah, I would say, I guess sports was a huge thing for me to relate to him as well. Yeah.
Thomas, you post a lot of like content on your social media about like filmmaking and for beginners. Like, if you could summarize that, maybe have one like ultra tip you have for maybe emerging filmmakers.
So I run a media company called The Vandalist, and our objective is just to help educate filmmakers and democratize the educational component of filmmaking. We run weekly live shows where we host academies. People can submit their scripts. We do live breakdowns, case studies. And one ultra tip that I have for emerging filmmakers is just to realize that no one is going to come out here and give you a golden ticket into Hollywood or to chase your dreams, to make your movies. And so if I can give one actionable tip, that's just to realize that you have to be the one in charge of your own fate, and like go and actually take steps to make movies, learn from it, fail from them, try whatever you can, find the resources online. Everything's on YouTube these days. And of course, like, our academy is trying to provide those resources for filmmakers. As long as you're actively going out to get those opportunities, then you will win, because ultimately it's a game of, whoever can just stand up the longest and keep going.
Persistence.
Yeah, persistence.
If we're going back to like the creative process, we all have, all of us as filmmakers, I think we all have like that one part we really like about filmmaking. What is that kind of moment for you where it all comes together?
I really love the festival runs.
Yes.
I'd say, yeah, that's
like
very
red carpets.
Festivals?
Yeah, no, that's very much the part where you see everything come together, and you meet everyone again. You see, how it all played out. But also, I really enjoy the process of filmmaking. I really like being on set. It's one of like the one things that I love the most. Like, I feel a very strong sense of like purpose when I'm on set and around people that are trying to help the filmmakers create what they wanted to for so long.
One of my favorite parts of filmmaking is expecting the next part of the process. What I mean is, when you're writing, you feel like you want to tear your hair out because it's so difficult, and you just want to go and film your movie. When you're filming your movie, you're tearing your hair out because it's so hard and there's so many moving pieces and nothing is going right, and it's just blowing up in your face. When you're in editing, and you finally get to the edit, you realize, what idiot director directed this? Like, why? Look at this footage like some, and you're hitting yourself on the head again, pulling your hair out. And so when you're editing, you can't wait to make your next film and get your film out there and just get rid of this creative baby. And so I love looking forward to the next step of it. And it sounds a little bit crazy, but I do personally enjoy the hair pulling and going crazy and again, looking forward to that next piece.
The most fun film shoots are when you're like crunched for time and you're like so stressed out and everything's chaotic and nothing's going right. But then you end up getting like a half decent shot and you're proud of yourself for it.
Makes it rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. The harder it is, the more satisfied you'll be by the end of it.
Yeah, the best stress is the stress from what you want to do.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
And I think the best directors or the best producers or the best leaders understand how to motivate your team the right way, so that everyone, despite how hard it is and despite how stressful it is, we're all aimed toward a singular goal that is bigger than us.
What's something you learned through C's character and also just being on set with Thomas, working on this film as you are like growing as an actor and person yourself?
I'm still, relatively new to independent films and things like that, Rice with Sleeves was its own experience, and Our Child is its own as well. When I started acting, I started with Umbrella Academy, which is like a huge, Netflix show, and that was like one of my first experiences on set ever, and it was just this like huge like there's like so many people on set. The food was like really good too, but like they had so much money and there's so many things happening. And then transferring over to independent now, it was almost like a shock, but it also taught me what it actually is, what acting actually is, what art and performance actually can be, because the processes are so different. There's a lot of things that I learned from being on Rice With Sleeps and Our Child. But specifically with Our Child, I think the pressure was a lot higher. I kind of learned to grow with the character more. I took some mistakes that I made from filming Rice With Sleeps then into Our Child, and I learned from it. I guess the biggest part is probably just the sense of like, everyone is on set to make this film. Like you said, everyone's here to strive for a singular goal that's bigger than ourselves, and you're a big part of that. And at the end of the day, the camera's on you. And all their work is done for your performance. So that's like, I would say the biggest thing, yeah.
Your performance is great.
Oh, I don't, thank you.
So we have some rapid fire. We'll start with coffee or energy drink.
Oh man, I've been going through some energy drinks recently, but they can't be good for you, even the ones that look like they're good for you. So I'll stick with coffee.
Introvert or going out?
Oh, depends on the weather.
Today's weather.
Yeah, it would have been nice to say it. No, I'm kidding. Usually going out, but if it's exam season, staying in.
Text back fast or disappearing for 3 days.
Text back fast is who I am. Yeah. I do not like having unread or unresponded messages. I just, I like to keep things clean, and so I will clear it out as fast as I can.
Over prepare or winging it?
Ooh, right now I'd say winging it, but if it's something serious, I'd say over prepare.
Would you rather re-watch your work or avoid it forever?
I would avoid it forever. I think, yeah, it's just painful because after you make a film, it's been years, and so you feel like you've grown so much as an artist afterwards once it's out, actually finally out in the real world. And so, you're just ready to go make your next thing, and I don't want to say fix all your mistakes, but move on from the past.
Blame the script or blame the director?
Oh my God.
Ooh, you better answer carefully because I'm also the writer and the director.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've ever been asked a question like that. I'm not going to answer that.
Neither,
I'm not going to answer that. I don't know. I just don't know.
Mine for you now is blame the editor or the producer.
Wow. Okay, shots fired. Honestly, blame the producer because the producers technically make all the creative decisions alongside with the director, of course, but they're higher up in the food chain. And so if someone made a mistake, then it's probably the producer's fault, which is fine. I think that's their job. And I also produce my own stuff, so I also take that blame.
Watch yourself on screen or read the reviews?
Oh, neither. I'm not big on watching myself, but when I have to do it, I do. I would say, yeah, rewatching myself, even though it's like really embarrassing and cringy, but it definitely helps me learn like, what I did wrong, where I could have been better.
Would you cut a scene early or let it spiral?
Definitely let it spiral. Do not cut. Yeah, even if your first AD says, "Why are we rolling for so long? We don't have any time." You keep going. Yeah. You never know what'll happen.
Okay, last one. Cry on cue or fake tears?
Oh, cry on cue.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
No, not right now. Not right now. I'm not ready. This is the thing with Our Child. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of emotion. A lot of it was just pulling out, my own emotions, I guess, what I was thinking about. I just kind of get into the zone. Also, like, with the scenes that Thomas wrote, it just kind of, all the scenes kind of go that way anyway. And that really helped me as an actor. But that's part of the challenge, and I really did enjoy it, so yeah.
And then last rapid fire question, do you give honest feedback or nice lies?
100% honest feedback, but it has to be packaged in the right way. I think that nobody wants to listen to their flaws, or nobody wants to admit it, and so understanding how to not only provide compliments first, but reframing it so that we're all here to make the best product. And I'm not here to criticize, but to help you improve your craft so that we can all make a better product, So I think it's all self-improvement, and having coaches and critiques should be a thing. It's just, depending on the person, you want to navigate carefully.
Yeah, it makes a good environment for like growth, and not like too much like where it doesn't do anything for you, but also too harsh where it just makes you feel like demotivated.
Yeah, there's no need to be harsh to be harsh. Everyone needs honest feedback, but it doesn't have to be harsh feedback.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I think that's all we have. Thank you so much.